Hello, good morning everyone. So let's start today's session. Today we are going to discuss decision trees for regression problem. In fact, I was not going to cover this concept of decision trees for regression, but few of the students have shown the interest in knowing decision trees for regression, and that is why I am going to cover today how decision trees can be used for regression. In the last session, we have gone through ID3 algorithm and we have seen how to build the decision tree following 3 steps in ID3 algorithm. So in the last session, we have seen ID3 algorithm to build the decision tree for classification. And we have used some statistical parameters. Those are entropy, information, and information gain to come up with the decision tree. To use decision tree for regression, the ID3 algorithm can be used, but we need to have few modifications in our ID3 algorithm as far as the parameters used are considered. So in ID3 algorithm for classification, we used gain to come up with the decision node based on several statistical computations. In decision tree for regression, we are making use of another parameter, standard deviation reduction. So we are going to replace information gain in the original ID3 algorithm for classification with standard deviation reduction. Sometimes this is known as SDR, standard deviation reduction. So based on this parameter, we are going to build now the decision tree. So let's begin with the example once again so that you can understand. So we are having the similar kind of problem here with 4 attributes: outlook, temperature, humidity, and windy. But in the last example that we have studied, we had the target attribute, that is whether to play tennis, yes or no. So we dealt with that classification problem where the classes were yes or no. Now, as we are going to see decision tree for regression, we are having the target attribute, that is hours played, and what we are going to store in this attribute, actually a continuous value, a real value, right? So we are having the similar kind of sample data set with us. We are having once again 14 examples in this data set. We are having the same 4 parameters: outlook, temperature, humidity, and windy. Only difference is the target attribute earlier we used was a class, and now we are using this target attribute as hours played, which is a continuous value. So how we are going to build the decision tree now for regression? In step number 1, we are going to compute standard deviation for target attribute. So this is step number 1. Please note down all those steps, right? I'm going to provide afterwards few exercises, right, wherein you need to solve the problems for under decision tree. So given some sample data set, you need to come up with the decision tree. Okay, so it is better that you should have the note of these steps, those we are following. So in step number 1, here we are going to compute standard deviation for target attribute. Which is our target attribute? We are having hours played as the target attribute. Right? Here in this data set, we are having 14 examples. So we are having here the value of n count, that is equal to 14, because we are having 14 examples in our data set. Now what we are going to compute next is the average value, average of target attribute. It is denoted as x bar. Okay, and this average is simply summation of all values those belong to target attribute in the data set divided by the number of samples that we have. So x bar is equal to summation x divided by n. So it comes out to be 39.8. So this is our average. So simply we are having the average of this column, target hours played. Okay. Now what next is, we are going to compute the standard deviation for our target attribute. T stands for target attribute. So standard deviation for target attribute is computed by making use of this simple formula. We know this formula. So what we are having here is square root of summation x minus x bar square divided by n. So x is, for every sample now, x is this value, hours played, minus average x bar whole square. We are having summation of all such differences, square differences, and then we are going to divide it by the total number of samples that we have, n. And finally we are having the square root of that. So this is how we are computing the standard deviation for target attribute. Here our target attribute is hours played, right, which is having the numeric values. Okay. Now the next parameter that we are going to compute is the coefficient of variation and denoted as CV. Coefficient of variation denoted as CV, and this is computed as S divided by X into 100%. Okay, so this comes out to be 23% in this example. Now we are making use of, earlier in ID3 algorithm for classification we were using entropy. Instead here we are making use of standard deviation. Okay, so standard deviation S is being computed for building the tree. Okay, then next parameter that we are going to compute is the coefficient of variation CV, and that is used to decide when to stop branching. And average that we are computing is the value that we are going to store in the leaf node, right? So in ID3 algorithm decision tree for classification, in the leaf node we were having the class. Instead now in decision tree for regression, in the leaf node we are having some value that we would like to predict, right? So in the leaf node we are going to store the average. Okay, so this is our step number 1, wherein we have computed now the standard deviation S of t, okay, for the target attribute. Now let us proceed to step number 2. So what we have in step number 2? Once again we are going to compute the standard deviation, but now for 2 attributes, target and one of the predictors. So which are the predictors? We are having these 4 attributes here, those are the predictors, and we are having the target attribute. So we are going to compute standard deviation for 2 attributes now, target along with one of the predictors, right? And the formula that we are making use of is S of t comma x, where this t is the target and x is the attribute under consideration, equal to summation over c belongs to x, p of c into s of c. So in step number 2 also we are computing these values for all the attributes. So one by one we are going to pick the predictors in our data set and we are going to compute these values of standard deviation. Okay, now for every attribute value, we are going to find out this standard deviation. What I means, this is exactly similar to that of the ID3 algorithm for classification. So let us assume that we are picking up this attribute, say outlook. Okay, now how many different values we have for the outlook? We are having rainy, we are having overcast, and we are having sunny. So these three are the values for this attribute outlook. So these three values we are going to consider, and one by one we are going to compute, right, the standard deviation for this attribute collectively. So how many tuples, or rather how many samples we have where outlook value is overcast? Yes, can you answer me? Anybody? How many examples we have where outlook value is overcast? Yes? Four examples we have, right? So here we are having this n equal to 4. So we have selected outlook value as overcast and we are having 4 such samples in our data set. So now the similar procedure we are going to follow. We are finding out the average x bar. So how we are going to compute now this average? This average is for outlook equal to overcast. So this is the first value 46, wherein my outlook value is overcast. Then the next value in our data set, target value is 43 for overcast. Here it is 52 and here it is 44. So we are going to compute now the average of these 4 values, right? So average x bar equal to summation x divided by n. So we are finding out the average of these 4 values now and it comes out to be 46.25. Okay, now by making use of the similar formula for standard deviation S equal to square root of summation x minus x bar square divided by n, we are computing now the standard deviation S, right, for outlook equal to overcast, and this comes out to be 3.49. Okay, now similarly we are going to compute the standard deviations for outlook equal to rainy, and similarly we are going to compute the standard deviation for outlook equal to sunny, following the similar steps. So to compute outlook equal to rainy, we are supposed to filter out our training data set such that we will be having the samples wherein outlook value is rainy. So for rainy, how many samples we have? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 samples. So the respective 5 target values we are going to consider and we are going to find out the standard deviation for rainy. Similarly, we are going to find out the standard deviation for outlook equal to sunny. So here is the table that we are depicting in this table this respective standard deviation. So outlook value overcast, the standard deviation is 3.49. For outlook equal to rainy, the standard deviation is 7.78. And for outlook equal to sunny, we are having the standard deviation that is 10.87. These are the counts of the examples. How many examples we have for that particular value, right? Overall samples that we are having are 40. Now, once we have computed all those standard deviations, we are going to compute now the standard deviation for outlook, right? Standard deviation for outlook. So, see here, S hours comma outlook. Hours is our target attribute and outlook is the attribute under consideration. And we are making use of the formula that we have mentioned. So here we are having this S hours comma outlook equal to P sunny, that is the probability of sunny, or the proportion of the samples that we have in the training data set for outlook value sunny, into standard deviation of sunny plus probability of rainy into standard deviation of rainy plus probability of overcast into standard deviation of overcast. So just by substituting these values, so what is the probability of sunny? It is, we are having 5 examples out of 14. So that becomes P of sunny into the standard deviation for sunny that we have computed 10.87 plus P of rainy. So 5 examples out of 14 for outlook equal to rainy into 7.78, that is the standard deviation computed. For overcast, 4 divided by 14 is the probability multiplied with the standard deviation for overcast, it is 3.49. So after computing, we get this value 7.66. So this is S hours comma outlook, that is 7.66. Got it? Any doubts so far? Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes.
can you explain how we are going to use these values?
Yes, obviously. In the next steps, we are making use of that.
Okay, ma'am.
That is why
Thank
we
you.
are computing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have computed these values now for standard deviation for this attribute outlook, considering all the values of the outlook. Right? Now, similar to our ID3 algorithm for classification, we are computing these standard deviations for every attribute in our data set. So this is the statistical computation for attribute outlook. Similarly, we are supposed to compute this standard deviation for temperature, standard deviation for humidity, and standard deviation for wind with respect to these target attribute values, right? So here I have shown these different tables. So outlook for outlook, as I stated in the earlier slide, how we computed these standard deviations. Similarly, for attribute temperature, we have computed these values as the standard deviation. For humidity, we have computed these values, and for windy, we have computed these values. So these 3 tables are also prepared by making use of this similar kind of computation that we have seen for outlook, right? So once now we are having all those standard deviations available for all those different values of the attributes. In next sub-step, what we are going to do is we are going to compute the standard deviation reduction, SDR. And the formula to compute this SDR is t comma x equal to s of t minus s t comma x. So s of t we have computed earlier in step number 1. S t comma x that we have computed and we have depicted here in this table. Okay, and by making use of these two parameters, those we have come up with, we are going to compute this SDR t comma x. So please note here, this is the replacement. This is the replacement of gain that we had computed earlier in ID3 algorithm for classification. Instead of computing gain, here we are computing standard deviation reduction. This is a new parameter. Okay, now see here how we are going to compute it now. SDR, hours is the target attribute and outlook is the attribute under consideration. So for every attribute we are going to compute now this SDR. So SDR hours comma outlook equal to S hours that we have computed in step number 1, 9.32, and S hours comma outlook that we have computed in the earlier step. See here, this S hours comma outlook 7.66 that we have computed, and we are making use of this figure 7.66 here. So this standard deviation reduction for attribute outlook comes out to be 1.66. Similarly, we are going to compute now SDR hours comma temp, SDR hours comma temperature, right? Then we are computing SDR hours comma humidity, and we are also computing SDR hours comma windy, these three attributes. So overall we have 4 attributes. So for all 4 attributes we are going to compute this quantity SDR, right? And we have mentioned here in this table, SDR for outlook comes out to be 1.66, SDR for temperature comes out to be 0.17, SDR for humidity comes out to be 0.28, and SDR for windy comes out to be 0.29. So we are having now all those SDR values. So what next? Similar to the earlier ID3 algorithm for classification, we are listing here all the attributes those we have along with their respective SDR values. So we are going to pick the attribute with the largest standard deviation reduction, largest SDR value as the decision node. So here outlook attribute is having the highest SDR value, that is 1.66. So we are going to make use of this outlook now as our root node. So in my decision tree now, outlook becomes my root node. Okay, so once again on the similar lines, outlook is having 3 different values. So we will be having 3 different branches under this outlook. Okay, and we are going to see next what we are going to do. So have you understood till this point? The algorithm is similar for regression tree, only difference is the parameters those we are making use of. Yes, any doubts so far? May I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So now we have found out our root node. So we are going to repeat our algorithm in the similar way. So what we mean by that? See here, outlook is our now root node. 3 branches with respect to 3 values of outlook that we have. sunny, overcast and rainy are 3 branches. Now, for outlook equal to sunny, now we are having these 5 samples. Outlook equal to overcast, we are having these 4 samples, and outlook equal to rainy, we are having these 5 samples. So in fact, these are the subsets, those we are having. Okay, if you remember our first session for decision tree, we have seen that here we are having the set S, or rather we are having here the attribute, say A1 is the attribute, let us assume, and we are having associated the entire set D here. So suppose we are having for this attribute A1, we are having 2 values Y and N. Then we come up with the subset of D, that is say D1, and subset of D, that is say D2. So what we have in D1, this subset, we are having only those examples for which this A1 value is Y. And in this D2, subset of D will be having only those examples for which this A1 value is no. Right? So further we are going to select here another attribute. Okay, and for this attribute we are making use of this subset D1. So if we select, suppose here A4 as the next attribute, and if A4 is suppose having once again 2 values, true and false, right? What we will have, will be having here the subset of D1 for which A4 is equal to true. So let us say here we are having D11, okay, and here we are having the subset D12. So what we will be having in D11? Only the examples from D1 for which A4 value is true. In D12, we will be having the examples from D1 for which A4 value is false, F. So this is how we are going to make use of the subsets of the data set at every decision node. Right? So similarly here for outlook equal to sunny, we are having this subset. Outlook equal to overcast, we are having this subset, and outlook equal to rainy, we are having this subset. Now we need to consider some stopping criteria, when to stop building this decision tree or when to stop expanding the branch of the decision tree. So in practice, we are having here the criteria for terminating or stopping criteria. Say for example, we may have the stopping criteria like when the coefficient of variation CV, coefficient of variation for a branch becomes smaller than some threshold. So in step number 1 we have computed CV, right? So if this CV becomes smaller than some threshold, say for example 10%, okay, and or other condition that we may check is when there are too few instances remain in the subset for that particular branch. What does this mean? This is the subset, this is the subset, this is the subset. Okay, so if it happens that the number of examples in the subset are too few, say for example less than 3 or something like that, then also there is no point in expanding the branch further, and this would be another stopping criteria. Right? Are you getting me? Is there any doubt so far? Yes? May I proceed?
No, ma'am.
May I proceed?
Yes,
okay. So now Let us see how we are going to proceed to expand this decision tree further. So with this now, for every branch we are having the subsets of the original data set. Now, what we are going to do next is, let us assume that CV, that is the coefficient of variation, is 10%. So we are assuming this threshold. Okay. Now, just see here. For outlook equal to overcast, we have computed the standard deviation. We are having hours played average, and this is the CV value for outlook equal to overcast, and it comes out to be 8%. And the number of samples that we have for outlook equal to overcast in our training data set equal to 4. Okay. Similarly, for rainy we are having this statistics, and for sunny we are having this statistics. So assuming that the threshold for CV equal to 10%, right? Then if we look at these CV values for all those different values of outlook, 8%, 22% and 28%, we find that overcast CV value for overcast is 8%, which is less than our threshold 10%. Okay. So if the CV value for a particular branch is less than our threshold, then that would be our stopping criteria. Meaning, for overcast, we are not going to expand our decision tree further. And that is why we come to the leaf node. And in this leaf node, we are having this average value 46.3. Correct? But if we look at these two branches, sunny and rainy, what is the CV value? It is 22% and it is 28%. So obviously these two values are greater than our threshold, that is 10%. Meaning these two branches need to expand further. Okay, so to expand these branches further, once again we will be following the similar algorithm, the same algorithm, the same steps. Okay, so at this branch we are having the subset of the original data set. At this branch also we are having the subset of the original data set. Okay, now by making use of this subset of the data set, we are going to follow the similar steps. So what we are going to do next? Suppose we are going to expand this branch, first branch, that is sunny. This branch. We are going to expand this branch. Okay? So what we are going to do is, how many attributes are remained? We are having temperature, humidity and windy. Right? So for all those attributes, temperature, humidity and windy, we are going to compute the standard deviations, and based on the standard deviations and the associated data sets, we are computing once again the SDR value for outlook equal to sunny. Okay?
Ma'am,
Yes.
sorry for interruption. Ma'am, could you please explain the previous slide? Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See here. Have you understood computation of all those quantities? We have computed
Yes,
this earlier, this and this also. Okay?
Yes,
so
ma'am.
what we are going to do is, we are going to find out where to stop. And we have mentioned that our stopping criteria is like when the coefficient of variation CV for a particular branch becomes smaller than certain threshold, or if it happens that in the subset there are very few instances remained, then there is no need to expand the branch further. So that is our stopping criteria. Okay, so we have computed this root node outlook and we are having these 3 branches. So we need to check whether for any of these branches we have reached to the stopping criteria. So with this statistics available with us, right, our CV values for overcast, rainy and sunny are available. So we are going to compare these CV values with our threshold. We are assuming that threshold for CV is 10%. So if CV value goes below this 10%, then there is no need to expand that branch further and we may arrive at the leaf node. So here for overcast, the CV value is 8%, which is less than our threshold. So for this branch, there is no need to expand our tree further. And that is why we arrive at this leaf node. Okay, so what we are storing in the leaf node? In ID3 algorithm for classification, we had the class label, whether to play tennis, yes or no. But as this decision tree is meant for regression, we should have in the leaf node some value, which is the prediction. Okay, so what would be the value here in this leaf node? Whatever is the average that we have computed for overcast, that would be placed in this leaf node. Are you getting me?
Ma'am, means from where we have taken this 46.3 value?
Sorry, we have
Average value. Okay, okay.
earlier.
Okay,
We have
okay, okay.
computed it
Okay,
earlier.
okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we had four examples for outlook equal to overcast. So average of the target attribute, that comes out to be 46.3. Okay, we have computed it earlier.
Okay, ma'am.
Right, so this will become our leaf node now, wherein we are having the value stored as 46.3. Got it? May I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So now for these 2 branches, sunny and rainy, okay, our CV value is greater than threshold, greater than 10%, and this indicates that these 2 branches need to expand further. Okay, and that is why the similar algorithm now once again we are going to apply for expanding the tree, meaning we need to find out now the decision node here, we need to find out the decision node here. So to find out the decision nodes, once again we need to apply the same algorithm with respect to the subset of the data set that we have here. Okay, so here after computation what we are getting is we are having 3 remaining attributes other than outlook: temperature, humidity and windy. So for this subset, outlook equal to sunny, this is the subset of our original data set for outlook equal to sunny. So with respect to this subset, we are going to compute now these values. So temperature, see here, temperature, we are having 2 examples with value cool and we are having 3 examples with value mild. Correct? So based on these respective target values, we are going to compute the standard deviation for temperature equal to cool, making use of this data set now. Please remember, this is the subset of the data set for outlook equal to sunny. Right? So this standard deviation is being computed with respect to this subset. This standard deviation for temperature equal to mild is being computed with this subset. Okay, and after having these values computed, we are going to find out this SDR. Okay, so what is SDR? We need to compute the standard deviation here. So S, standard deviation. So considering all those values now, step number 1 we are going to follow once again, right? So considering these values, we are computing this S, that is 10.87. Okay, average of these 39.2. Okay, and similarly CV for this data set, that is 28%. So we have computed all those values for this subset of the data, and based on these values, SDR is being computed for temperature. So SDR equal to this ST minus, okay, S target comma temperature. So we are having these values associated, and SDR becomes 0.678. Similarly, SDR for humidity is computed and SDR for windy is computed. So once again, similar to that of step number 3, out of these 3 SDRs, we need to find out the attribute with highest SDR value. Correct? So which is the attribute having highest SDR value? This windy, 7.62 is maximum out of these 3 SDRs. Okay, so we need to pick this attribute windy as our decision node. Okay, so see here under Outlook, we are having 3 branches. We do not need to expand it further, so we reach to the leaf node, and with reference to the discussion related to the earlier slide, the next decision node that we have found is windy under Outlook equal to sunny. So this is our next decision node, windy. Okay, so under windy we are having 2 values, false and true. Okay, so once again for windy equal to false, we are going to have some subset of the data. For windy equal to true, we are having some subset of the data. Now in those subsets, once again we'll check the stopping criteria, and in both the cases we reach to the stopping criteria, and that is why we reach to the leaves. And in every leaf node, now we are going to represent the average values for the respective attribute values, false and true. So this is the average value of, once again for windy equal to false, and this is the average value once again for windy equal to true. So we have reached to the stopping criteria, and we have terminated our algorithm for this particular branch, and we have come up with these leaves containing actually the prediction values. Similarly, for rainy also, we are going to find out the decision node, and we arrive at the leaves on the similar lines, the similar algorithm, the same steps we are going to follow. So ultimately, whatever you are looking at right now on the screen, this is a regression tree. Do you agree with me? This is regression tree. Why? Because prediction is a number, a continuous value, right? So if I am going to provide some test sample, say for example, in my test sample, I am having, say, outlook value equal to sunny, then windy attribute is, say, false, and temperature is, say, hot. Now, we begin from the root node. So what is the value of outlook in our test sample? Outlook equal to Sunny. So we are going to follow this branch. Then we arrive at the decision node Windy. For Windy, we are having the value false. So we are going to follow this path and we arrive at the leaf node. So what is the value in the leaf node? It is 47.7. So our prediction for hours played is 47.7 under these weather conditions. This is how we are going to predict the continuous value. Got it? If you have any doubt, please let me know. Yes? Any doubts so far?
Ma'am, can you explain with the help of that chart, the previous chart, means data we have taken?
Yes, obviously. See here. This was the subset where at which point outlook equal to Sunny. So at this point, right, we are having this subset, 5 tuples. Are you getting me? And we have found out that the next decision node is Windy. The next decision node is Windy. Okay. Now, for Windy, we are having 2 values, false and true. Okay. So we are having for Windy 2 values, false and true. So now, at this point, we'll be having the data set such that Windy value equal to false. So Windy value equal to false. 1, 2 and 3 tuples. 3 examples. 1, 2 and 3 examples. Okay. So here we are having 3 examples and here we are having 2 examples. Okay. And we have reached to the stopping criteria. What are the stopping criteria? The stopping criteria is if CV, that is threshold, is less than 10%. Another stopping criteria would be if the number of instances in the data set are less than some value, say 3. So number of instances less than 3. So if the number of instances here are 2, that is less than 3. So we do not need to expand this branch further. So we say that we have arrived at the leaf node. Okay. And what we need to place here, the average value. Right. So average value. So this is true. True. So 23 and 30 are the respective target values. So average of these two is say 26.5. So that would be placed in our leaf node. Got it? Similarly, if we go here, we are having here the subset. Okay, for outlook equal to rainy. And if we have selected now temperature as the decision node here, then what we will be having? We'll be having out of now this subset. Few of the examples will have temperature value equal to cool. So we will be having here a subset of the data and subset of the data. So based on this subset, once again we are going to check whether we have arrived at the termination condition, stopping criteria. If yes, then we come up with the leaf nodes. If no, the same procedure gets repeated. Okay. Is there any doubt? Is there any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Fine. So we have covered today the decision tree for regression problem. So if you need to implement regression, you may think of such kind of decision tree. Okay. So let's stop today. In the next session, we are going to focus upon few issues related to decision tree. And in tomorrow's session, we are going to conclude this unit number 2. Okay, fine. So I'll be providing you few exercises based on this decision tree. So you need to manually work upon these problem statements and you are supposed to build the decision trees. Right, so that you can understand this ID3 algorithm.
Ma'am,
Okay? Yes.
ma'am, in step number 1, you have mentioned that standard deviation. How to calculate that x? How to consider for every data set? How to calculate, ma'am?
In step number 1, this is our step number 1. Okay? In step number 1, what we need to do is we need to compute the standard deviation for target attribute. Here
Yes.
our target attribute is hours played.
Yes.
Now, as this in this step number 1, we are initiating our algorithm. We have not yet selected our root node of the tree. So this entire data set is available with us. So we are considering all these target values to compute our standard deviation.
So,
Correct?
so entire that data set we have to consider as x.
Yes. See. Here this individual value is x. Okay.
Yes.
So we have computed this average as 39.8. So what we are going to do is, this is my x. So 25 minus 39.8. Okay. And square of this.
Okay.
Then 30 minus the same average, 39.8 square. So similarly for all the samples, we are going to compute this.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, and we'll be having the summation of this squared term. And then we are going to divide it by n. N is number of samples. Those are 14 in our case. And then we are going to find out this square root. So ultimately we get this value. So with respect to data set, we are going to compute this standard deviation. For the next level of the decision tree, whenever we are choosing the decision node, at that instance of time, we are having the subset of this data set. Na?
Yes, ma'am.
So at that situation, we are going to consider only the examples in that subset, not all 14.
Okay, ma'am.
Right? And this similar process we are going to follow.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So I hope you have understood this algorithm.
Yes,
Right? And I'm going to provide you few practice exercises, and I appeal all of you to solve those exercises on your own so that you can understand it better. Okay? So let's conclude today's session. Thank you.